down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Are you down with OTC? OTC. Are you down with OTC? Down with OTC. Down with OTC.
Hey, are you down with OTC? Welcome to On the Chain. The Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is going on, Chip? Man, I'm excited about today. Man. Yesterday was a phenomenal show with John Deaton. Today, want to get into the fact that XRP is not a security. Let's put that one out there. BTC and crypto being adopted by banks, big business, big financial institutions. All you have to do is just follow the money, see where everything's going, man. There is just so much. Every day is just like, it's like a little kid at Christmas because there's always something else.
Yeah, it's like a little kid. I feel like a little kid at Christmas every day. It's like, how many times can you check your phone? It's like, what's crypto doing? I don't know. I checked it 20 seconds ago, but maybe it's mooning, So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We really going to try to fit it all in. We're just going to bloviate a little bit less, Jeff. We're going to cut right to, as Rob Cash would say, the meat and the potatoes. Let's go.
Cassettes.
Meat and the potatoes and the cassettes. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain with Jeff and Chip.
There we go.
What's
Jumping.
up?
I don't know. Let's jump right into it. Last night was phenomenal. I can tell you that I was super excited because Stuart Adirati, who is general counsel for Ripple, retweeted our show on Twitter last night. And then I'm looking through the comments of his tweet, and it says, you could have at least spelled John Deaton's name right. And I was like, and I looked, and I was like, John Deacon. Now, if you guys are like really into music, you'll know John Deacon was the bass player for Queen. I was like, maybe they think we had John Deacon. I don't know. I was like, I don't know how that happened, but it was spelled right. It said John Deaton, you know, in the title of it.
Right, everywhere. Yeah. Where did it say John Deacon? I didn't see the John Deacon.
It was that I don't know. I tagged him. I said with special guest John Deacon, but it said John Deaton in the text, and I was like, man, you get a high profiler like, you know, Stuart Allarati, and man, and rightfully so. People are like, you could have spelled his name right. I was like, you know what, you're right. I go, and I was like, oh, what do you do? I sent that to John, and he goes, I go, apologies for spelling your name wrong. He goes, it's all good. I'm like, no, man, it's not cool. I didn't spell your name right. Last night's big. Oh no. By the way, I texted Jeff last night. I'm like, it's a good thing I didn't accept that bet. It was like over 500 likes. I'm like, it's a damn good thing I didn't accept that bet.
Nice.
Hell to the no.
Good job.
I'm not going to do it,
man. So I'm trying to figure out a good place to start here, and I want to start off talking about Bitcoin. And the reason why I want to start talking about Bitcoin is because Ray Dalio.
Dilly
because your buddy Dilly Dalio was talking about there's a high probability that Bitcoin becomes illegal in the US. So so while some billionaires are skeptical and talking about how it's going to become illegal, or other billionaires a couple years ago, like Jamie Dimon, was criticizing his daughter for buying a Bitcoin. You have other billionaires in this space, as we've seen, like with Elon Musk and MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, and then you've got a billionaire, Norwegian billionaire. He ditches his skepticism of Bitcoin and he begins to invest in a local crypto exchange. And he's fired up. He's now a part owner of a crypto exchange called Merrill-X. I'm sure if you're in Norway, you know what that is. But this is like, these are all big news items, when you see things like this. Beyond that, you have, Bitcoin nears all-time highs. And then here's why 73,000 is the next key level. That's a little bit of FOMO and a little bit of hype. But I'll tell you what isn't. That's not hype. General Motors considering Bitcoin as payments.
So who forced their hand on that, though? Do you think that it's kind of interesting? Who made that happen? I mean, it was probably our pal over at Tesla.
Yeah, or our pal Dilly Dalio. Not 100% sure. But then you've got Morgan Stanley, you got Fidelity, all looking into the ETFs. There's just a ton of things going on. I'll tell you what else is big is ARK investor, CEO Kathy Wood on Bitcoin. She's saying $1 trillion, that's nothing. Just wait and see, because there's so much more to come.
She's right.
And she's saying, man, what is Bitcoin ultimately going to be?
She's absolutely right on that, Jeff. I mean,
Whoa, where'd Chip go? Chip is gone. We kicked him out of here. All right, and I'll tell you something else. So here we have, this is like every single day there's something being dropped. Now we're focusing in on the Bitcoin because number one, Bitcoin has name recognition, first mover first mover advantage in the space with the big financial institutions. Then you have the big names like a Kathy Wood. Now, when they start talking about Bitcoin, you have to believe that they're also already considering some of the other altcoins and the other digital assets that are in the space, because they all believe in decentralization. Right, Chip? You don't have Kathy Wood going out there and being like, Tesla stock, we're 100% in Tesla stock and nothing else. You there, Chip?
Oh, yeah, sorry, man. I'm here. I was looking at some cassettes. No, but here's the weird thing about it, though. Why are so many billionaires like all of a sudden meeting their demise like in plane crashes and helicopter crashes?
Peter, not the ones that are taking on Bitcoin.
Well, Peter Kellner, who's a Czech billionaire, he just was killed in a helicopter crash. Apparently, he and 5 others. It's just really, I find it weird. He was in Alaska. He and 5 others were killed. It's like, seems like this seems to be a recurring thing. Like a lot of really high-powered key people are meeting their demise. Look, I mean, Kathy Wood is right, though. Think about it. if you look at Bitcoin, like we thought $1 trillion market cap, and that she's probably right. Bitcoin's going to hit 7, 8, 10 trillion dollars Bitcoin alone. You may have the other 10, 15, 20 potential, the alt market could dwarf that. I mean, it's real possible. And I think just because we're early days, everyone's like, my God, this thing's never going to moon. Well, we've been doing this for a long time. So we've been at it for a while. I mean, I first acquired my first Bitcoin in 2013. I mean, that's almost coming up on 10 years, Jeff. We're like 8 years into this, that I've been around it. But of course, I wasn't really actively involved. I was doing it for other reasons. And so someone, I tend to listen when people like Cathie Wood say something. Why? Because she's got a track record. Now, Ray Dalio has an amazing track record too. It's just that his track record in building Bridgewater, and I think he's done really more as a philanthropist. But you look at the track record. Look, you can't take that away from somebody. But Cathie Wood is, if you're in one of her funds and it made 140% last year, show me another fund that's coming anywhere near that. And then she takes all of the incoming on the criticism, right? She gets criticism from everywhere, and she's outperforming. And she happens to be a woman, and she's outperforming most of the men fund managers. So
that's right. But check out this statement. We are now moving into what I believe will be prime time. And I think helping it along is the demand from institutional investors. She was talking on a panel as they reported. The most surprising development recently is that companies are now diversifying their cash with Bitcoin.
Yeah. So do you think, especially most of the companies are the ones that pay for the lobbying groups, right? The corporations, the big companies, and they always have some trade association they're associated with. They go in there lobbying Congress about this and about that. So if you control the lobbyists, you kind of control the purse strings, you control the donations, and now you've got more to potentially donate, right? So I don't necessarily see this going away anytime soon, but we're right at the beginning. It looks like, oh, look at all these companies. The flood hasn't even happened yet. There was rumors like, look at Google, look at IBM, look at Amazon, look at Apple. At some point some of them have some pretty large cash, fiat sitting in banks, just eroding in value every single day.
Nothing.
And the problem that Apple and Google have is their money's overseas, right? So they're based in the US, based in California, and their money is all spread around the world. The problem is when they bring it back, this is what they talked about with the previous administration of having a tax holiday. Look, let them bring those $100 billion back in, a one-time charge, but don't charge them 40% on that money. It's never coming back to the States. Why would you come back if you're going to get taxed that much? So they find other ways to spend it, acquisitions, pay for stuff, deal with their, with the flow of the products and everything. They'll buy it out of those accounts. But just imagine if a lot of that money could come back here. Now imagine if it comes back in a different way. What about, and this was a Cathie Wood, Jeff, that said they have to worry about the tax scenario, because what if something like Apple or Amazon take that money, invest in Bitcoin? Now it's kind of like doesn't really exist over there anymore. So they take $5 billion, dump it into Bitcoin, and it's pretty much safe until they offload it, right? So I think that might be one of the reasons she was advising that companies could get potentially in a lot of hot water if they were to start investing large sums, going all in, throwing all the chips in there. Did I just say chips? I did, right? How do you think that would settle out if they started going into Bitcoin? I think the central banks are already freaking out. If you haven't noticed, Jeff, they're like, oh, Bitcoin's bad. It's not a currency.
That's right. They're definitely fighting back. It's there's going to be a lot of struggle. There's going to be those that get it. The big financial institutions are looking to ways to make money. They want to leverage. They want to leverage other people's money. They want to make money for other people while they're making tons of money. That's how the financial institutions do it. The banks, they're not looking to help you make money. They want you to store your money there. Then they're going to dribble little bits of percentage, on your account, all while, leveraging your money to make, bigger interest. So, they take advantage of that scenario. Everything is being flipped on its head right now, because how is that fair?
Well, I think what's happening too is
got your towel on. Okay.
What's he doing? He's coming in here.
Yeah.
How's our
He
manager
just
doing?
came out of his shower. He's running around in his towel.
Oh wow.
Okay.
We don't want to
It's
capture
not-
that on video.
All right, there he is.
There he is, Aaron. What's up? So here we go.
Hey, no. Come on.
Now he's messing with you.
Now he's
messing
mad.
with you.
Now he's mad. Hey, shut the door too on your way out.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Don't you forget to shut that. Don't you forget to shut that door, man. I thought this would be pretty good to start with here. So obviously we had John Deaton on last night, right? It was a really awesome show. He put this tweet out. He was looking for a business or developer, some entity that used XRP operationally, other than accepting payments. He's a situation where the token's used not as an investment per se, but as a tool or interface. Any ideas? I thought this was a pretty good thread from IOV.tips. Let us help you, John. First of all, Corda is the Corda settler module. Gives the GitHub address there. Uses XRP for obligation management and settlement and a settlement rail. Transactions are USD only, but XRP is used to run the system. And then there's an example of the workflow right here. And it's like, you go, I almost forgot about the Corda settler. Did you almost forget about that? I mean, because
I have forgotten about it.
Because there's some big news today with the Corda settler with regard to XDC, which I think we'll have a little bit of time to get into as well. But I like the fact that they put together these sort of, the next one here is, if you guys know Securitize.io, they're among many other things. They use XRP to tokenize real estate, making it safe and seamless for smaller investors to invest in real estate. Breaks the entry barrier and makes real estate investment available for ordinary users. So there's Securitize. By the way, the CEO is right here in Miami. And I have had some interactions with him about his kids in school and stuff, which is weird because we don't talk about crypto, but I'm just like, he's a neighbor. I'd love to get him on the show. So yeah, there's one. And where's the next one here? Hang on. I got to see what's going on. Yes, it looks like, I know there's more to this thread. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Sometimes they get buried here. Number 3, Dharma.io. Dharma wallet connects Ethereum wallet to a bank account and allows interaction between the ERC20 world and traditional banking world. Uses XRP behind the scenes to achieve this. Marks collateral, obligations, and settlement. So there you have 2 instances of dealing with obligations and settlement. Corda settler, you got the Dharma wallet, which I totally forgot about as well. So it's sometimes good to, what do you think about that, Jeff? You down with that?
That's what I think. Reggie, we can't even remember all the use cases.
No, we can't. No, that's a real good point. There's just a ton of them, right? So on Dharma, you can trade 2,000 plus DeFi assets directly from your bank account, up to 25,000 per week if you're a big spender. Obviously, we all know about Coil. Coil is a content monetization platform for journalists, content creators. We use it here. So I advise everybody to get a Coil account. It's $5. You can go like sites like Condé Nast, Coil.com, all those bloggers. And anytime you watch here, if you're watching either through the Puma browser or you're watching on your desktop, you're streaming little micropayments to on the chain. And lets users pay for what they read, but also what they view. So that's the other thing that they miss. Coin entirely built on XRP and uses XRP to achieve its advancement. Go ahead.
That's it. No, I was going to bring that up. Channing brings up, he's saying, what I wonder is if the SEC is making all these moves to force the Congress into the matter to give official guidelines on who govern assets. Here's my thought on that is we have all these highly intelligent people that are in this room that are thinking, all these amazing ideas and trying to, put all these strategies together of what they would do. But I think in the real world, you got the SEC bumping into each other. It's as though they shut the lights out and they're running around the room, trying to find the door and it's pitch black. And then you've got Congress over there, they're too busy trying to figure out what they're going to eat for lunch and what Depends they're gonna buy at the store.
Did you say Depends as in adult diapers? A lot of people don't know what Depends are, but those are adult diapers. There you go. Just so in case they have an accident when they're out and about, at their favorite restaurant, not wearing masks because, they're different and they don't have to deal with anything else. Yeah, I tweeted out an Ayn Rand tweet earlier that I wouldn't mind touching into as well because I think we are there, but a few people in the community let us know. So here we go. Also, number 5, Flare Networks and Flare Finance enabling smart contracts capability for the XRP ledger, who are independently using it to connect to all sorts of disconnected markets. XRP is used to support and run their platform. So that was a nice little trip down, what's possible with use cases around XRP that have really, honestly, nothing to do with Ripple, the company. And I just hope that, and I hope that, and what I like is what John Deaton was talking about last night, about talking about use cases and putting practicality and really kind of educating, because it seems like everybody, look, this stuff isn't easy. If you start looking into DeFi, your head will spin, right? And as much time as Jeff and I and you guys spend in this space, every once in a while you come across something, you might read a white paper, you got to read the same paragraph 3 times. You're like, what are they saying? Oh, okay, I get it. But you're at least somewhat educated. Imagine somebody who, one of your friends or something are like, all right, I don't get it. Just do it for me. But you have to put some time and energy into it. And this is where it's getting even more complicated. Flare is going to get crazy. So as we venture down that road, I mean, it's going to be somewhat interesting as we get there. So I thought that was a nice little kind of trip there.
Yeah, I like that, man. Hey, I just wanted to bring something else up. So we started talking a little bit about banks. Before my son came in, we were talking about the central banks, and there's one large bank. I don't know if you've ever heard of BNY Mellon.
Of course, Pittsburgh. Right? Mellon built Pittsburgh. I went to school in Pittsburgh. I know Mellon all too well.
So BNY Mellon is weighing in on this controversial Bitcoin valuation model, and I thought it was interesting. So they have this stock to flow model that's used to for a prediction of Bitcoin's price based on supply and issuing levels. So they're looking at the fact that here BNY Mellon thinks that it's worth understanding despite its flaws. And they get into this because they're trying to evaluate, or how can you value Bitcoin? And so what's interesting, they spotlight this controversial model, and according to this article, that if correct would see Bitcoin's price hit $100,000 to $280,000 this year. So here's BNY Mellon that has over $25 trillion in assets. So why are all of these groups, organizations, banks, corporations, etc., why are they all diving in to this idea that Bitcoin seems to be something that should be on your, on your financial statement someplace, and so for BNY Mellon now to look at it, there's a level of reality that I think if you go back a year ago, you could see, a lot of corporations kind of, you saw, I guess, you saw the what are those scavenger birds? You saw them, circling the carcass. They're all out there looking around, the digital asset space, figuring out, at what point they're going to swoop in. And you saw them taking little tastes of the space. And now all of a sudden, man, it's starting steamrolling. If you have Kathy Wood saying, hey, we haven't seen anything yet, and BNY Mellon is looking for a valuation model. I mean, what do you think, man? I mean, are we like at takeoff stage right now? Or is this still, are we still in the shallow end, and they're trying to figure out if the water's too cold or not, and whether or not they should be swimming?
It's a little weird about the banks. Dragon2 said, good old Andrew Mellon, banker, finance minister, and bootlegger, the American dream. Hell yeah, man. Hey, some of that money was made above table. Some of it, well, I mean, if you're going to do something with the money, you start a bank, right? So that's one of the things you do here.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
Mr. K says, John Deaton asking anyone with use case for XRP and the XRPL as developing new use cases, as we need to steer away from the investment as holders concern. We want to see the multi-utility. Yeah, of course we do. Yeah, we want to, but that's going to be a good thing to bring up, because how much do you think when you have the judge? And one of the things I liked about what John said last night, he's asking for oral arguments. Oh man, would I love that. Would I love to see oral arguments. And as always, we did another show outside of the show. So we spent like another 45 minutes with John. We just couldn't stop yapping. It was like between the three of us, yippity, 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 yap. So yeah, he's got some cool things
It's very
Yeah,
nice.
right there you go. Look at Matt LaRoche weighing in and says, because they don't want you buying physical gold and silver. Now, that's a very good observation there, Matt. Right? Stay away from that because, quite honestly, it does seem like they're using paper to sort of artificially control the price of both silver and gold. I mean, silver should be much higher, but gold probably is closer to $20,000 or $30,000 of what it should be announced, not 1,800. Wavering around 1,800. But, Matt, that's a really good point because if they go squirrel and everyone runs to the squirrel, what I find odd and sort of what I was getting at before is the whole idea of a bank putting any information out about Bitcoin seems counterproductive because it's really the road to their demise, right? It's the road to the slow swirl around the drain because the whole idea of cryptocurrency is, and what DeFi space is doing is it's creating the unbanking people from traditional banks and plugging in the populace, the people, to do the rest of it. So I see that being, Matt's bringing up a good point. What are they trying to, why would they be coming out? Why would JP Morgan? Why would, Goldman Sachs? Now you got all these banks that are coming out in favor. That doesn't pass the sniff test for me, Jeff.
No, they see the trend, and so they waited around a long time to get in. But these kind of guys, they've got a ton of money. They can buy their time, just like Michael Saylor. He didn't buy in at Bitcoin at 300. He didn't buy in at 1,000. He didn't buy in at 5,000. He bought it at 10,000. Then his average buy-in now is hovering around 24, 25,000. Others, Chip, are going to buy in at a higher price point because they realize where it's going, but they have so much money. They're not buying one Bitcoin. They're not buying. Michael Saylor bought 91,000 Bitcoin. When you buy 91,000 Bitcoin and Bitcoin doubles, you're making a shit ton of money, and these guys see the same thing, right? Yeah, but they see it. They see the writing on the wall. And is it their demise? Because I think at the end of the day, mainstream, and we've talked about this so many times, they don't care what's functioning on the back end. They just want to make it easy. They want an easy buy. They want to be able to invest. They want to move on with their life. They want to make sure that their money is safe when they put it someplace. They can go out and spend. The DeFi space is a little scary. There's nobody to pick up the phone and call. Some of these exchanges out there that are over in Singapore that are operating out of Regis, there's no phone number to reach them.
Tell them what a Regis is. I don't think a lot of people who live outside the U.S. understand what Regis is.
Yeah, that one's in Singapore. Regis is a shared office space.
Yeah, it's like you go in there and you go like, I want to rent an office. How many do you want? 2 offices. Cool. Okay, you get used to that in a conference room. How often are you going to be here? You get 4 hours in the conference room, and you get a mailing address. Yeah, okay.
I love Regis. Regis is cool though. I'm not going to knock the Regis.
Cool. No, I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying if you're an exchange, a physical exchange, Matt LaRoche is right. Look here, don't look there, and look at this. Do you know what a scavenger bird was you were trying to think of before? Jake Clayton.
Scavenger bird, right?
That made me laugh. Thank you, XRP Ben. I was cracking up. I hate that when I look in the comments, I start laughing. I don't know, man. I gotta give that one to XRP Panic. That's
how about Patricia here, or what does it say? Patricia.
Patricia.
That's
missing the R.
Would it not be a smokescreen to keep everyone away from XRP? Then they all pull their money out and wreck BTC. I mean, could you imagine though? I mean, you would have to have a lot of them getting together and discussing this ahead of time. I think they all expect, they're putting it in. The trend is there. They're FOMOing in. The financial institutions are bringing a lot of money. They're going to push it to the next level because at that point, right now, it's a billionaire's playground.
No, it
right?
is.
We can't play in that pool. But the good thing about it, and I think why we need to keep focusing on the direction and normalcy of Bitcoin into mainstream, is because it's going to pull the rest of the market with it. Cassettes.
I was going to say cassettes, but I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. But one of the weird things that happens is when, you spend at least an hour on with tech support today with StreamYard, and you feel worse than when you actually started talking to them because you realize they were absolutely no help whatsoever. And it felt, this is what it felt like to me. Is that Yeah, and then like here I
And there
even
you are.
streamed, and I'm freezing up, and you go like, yeah, he says, yeah, it's definitely, I can see it's a browser problem. Like, well, can you tell me how to fix it? He's like, use Opera. I'm like, Opera, it doesn't work, with. He goes, it just was ridiculous, Jeff. Look, now I'm all, just because of that, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah. The StreamYard gods have spoken.
I told him the kind of computer I have. I told him everything I have, and I can't do it. So here's my solution. I go out and come in. That's it. So I'll be right back.
All right. See you later. See ya. So while Chip is gone, let's talk about some government stuff. How about that? Look at this. Let's bring this up. I don't know how I unshared my screen by mistake, but let's bring this into the stream. There we go. And then let's put that one up, take that one away. Wait, well, I think
I'm just having fun playing with it. Me.
There you go. Nice. So how about this one? So as we start seeing, everybody in the SEC bouncing around into each other, you've got Wyoming making big strides. You've got states making big strides. A lot of this normalcy and regulation does end up on the doorstep of the state government. So here you have the Iowa House approving a bill to legally recognize blockchain smart contracts. That's such a massive step forward, because there wasn't that long ago that if you went onto a DocuSign, that DocuSign wasn't legally binding. And, and so there was some approvals that had to be done, and they recognized it at the state level. They recognized it at the federal level, and it makes a real big difference. So here you have in Iowa, the House approved it, goes to the Senate, then the governor has to sign off on it, which I'm sure that they will, but that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. That's Ethereum,
Huge.
That's Flare, that's a whole bunch of them out there.
Yeah, and can Florida sign up for that? I know Texas is like thinking about doing it. Abbott retweeted an article, I think, from Cointelegraph saying, hey, I'm all for it. And like, well, let's speed it up there, Abbott. And I saw Freecoiner say, well, get your ass in gear or something like that to Abbott. And meanwhile, DeSantis, I keep hearing, oh, he's such a great governor. Well, we have the crypto Miami mayor over here. Why don't you get your stuff into going there? By the way, I wanted to address this one question, if I could, Jeff, because it kind of ties beautifully into what I had over here. So Hungary always says this, Prince Andrew, a friend of Jeffrey Epstein, why does he not get dragged to jail? Prince Harry is in the UK because his family did something to a princess, bless her. This is real news. Okay, so we got to be careful what we say here. Here's why. Put this tweet out. It's a quote by Ayn Rand. It says, when you see that in order to produce, you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing. When you see that money is flowing to those who deal, not in good, but in favors. When you see that men get richer by graft and by pull than by work, and your laws don't protect you against them, but they protect them against you. When you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming self-sacrifice, you know that your society is doomed. That's Ayn Rand. That's from Atlas Shrugged from 1957. And Icon upon said, yes, we are there. Yes. Yes, we are there. So
nice. I like it.
There you have it. I just thought I'd throw that in there. And, it's weird. If you put a crypto tweet out, man, it gets so much play. And you put something like this, a little more thought-provoking, people are like, oh, that's too much reading. I got to get out of here. It's like too much work there. I can't.
Man, check out the XRP speedboat. I don't know 100% if that's the wooden boat.
No, man.
Oh, you got the XRP speedboat, two different people. But they both seem to have these nice pictures over there, both into boating.
Nice, appreciate that. Yeah, wooden boat and speedboat. Yeah, both Canadian. Yeah,
wooden boat and speedboat.
Speedboat, wood boat. Oh, I'm all for boats. Anything you got. So I thought that was, it's like a little bit thought provoking, but it's fun.
Look at this, man. Moonbacks lumber is up 15%. All building good prices are jacked to the ceiling. Man, I was talking to one of my neighbors who's in the building, and he told me the same thing. It's crazy. Lumber. I think we talked about that yesterday. Can't remember exactly.
Well, I can't be 100% sure, but might be magic. I just say my default's going to be like, if you ask me a question, I'll be cassettes. That's going to be my new That's gonna be my new go-to. It'd be like cassettes. 'Cause I still can't believe that story. Like I was still saying to Jeff, like that's the craziest story ever. It just doesn't make it. Just
Was that for real?
It was for real. It was a real thing. I mean, but they said 157,000. But what does that mean? I mean, and why is that in the
Even buy
UK?
a
What's
cassette.
I mean, I guess they have a lot of cassettes over there in the UK. I know I'm going to freeze up here, but I think it's going to be
Dude,
worth
on
it.
Amazon you can buy Maxell, a brick.
Maxell.
Oh, Maxell, right?
Maxell. Get out of here.
That's how
Jeff.
long.
Maxell. What the hell?
That's how long it's been.
What the hell are you talking
Buy
about?
cassette
Man?
tapes online, new, used, rare at Tapehead City.
I threw mine in the garbage. I threw them like in a dumpster or something. That was like many
How are you
years
gonna
ago.
play
20
them
years
back?
ago.
I haven't had a cassette thing for a long time.
But I do have some early demos, like recordings. They still play on there. I still have an old 4-track where I recorded tons of demos on it, just like grooves and stuff that I multi-layered and stuff. And every once I pull it out, and I'm like, I have no recollection that I recorded that. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things where you just don't remember. I wanted to play this because I thought it was good. I wanted to give a big shout out to Mickey B. Fresh, who we had on here, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks back. But I wanted to play this, Jeff, because I don't know where he digs this stuff up, but this is pure gold right here. Gary Gensler and Hester Pierce in 2019, talking about all the things that are taking place right now. He says he has more clips from the interview, offers a very different perspective on Gensler speaking from outside the SEC with Hester Pierce, who's at the SEC, and of course she still is. So I wanted to see if we can, let's put this little clip on here, and hopefully we don't have catastrophic results here. Let me make sure the volume is up, and it is. It could be that you don't hear it, but let's just see, Jeff. Let's see.
Jason Rockwood, I'm the country manager for VeChain.
Can't hear it.
You got it? You don't hear it?
Wait, no, it's on.
Let's see. Tell me if you guys hear this.
We deal a lot with enterprise clients.
Perfect.
So he said he was the enterprise manager for VeChain, I think.
Jason Rockwood, I'm the country manager for VeChain.
Country manager.
VeChain.
We deal a lot with enterprise clients, and one of the things that we see over and over is that enterprises are reluctant to get involved with blockchain and crypto because they're not sure how to properly classify the asset or to manage some of the regulatory confusion around it. My question for you guys is, do you think that is the work of the SEC going to impact that at all, or do you think that that's other departments that handle that, and or do you see enterprise clarity coming so that we
Yeah, do you know the question? I lost track of the question. He wants to know if there's clarity. I think it was a long question. I was like,
dude, is he wearing a cape?
It's a cape, or I don't know. It might be one of those like you know when you go to like those cosplay things.
That's
like
what
you go to like,
is he? He's at a Harry Potter event,
like Comic-Con or something. He's like dressed
is that
up.
where he's at?
It looks like a giant Q. I don't know what it is, Jeff. It's all very weird to me. But
look at the guy in the background. He's about, and this woman over here is on her phone.
She's like laughing with her friends, sharing TikTok videos. I don't know what he's talking about, but let's get into this. Let's see. Saying
open the door more widely to their participation in this ecosystem.
She's like, is he still talking? I mean, she's like, is he still talking?
As well.
So bad.
I think there's real interest from a lot of institutional players.
Well, that's so awkward. He's got to walk in front of him. He's
oh man! It's a hoodie.
I mean, look at. I mean, I thought this was like some
there.
big conference. It's like a classroom setting. It's so awkward. You got to walk in front of the people that are speaking.
Now in the market, so that means that we are being pushed to make some decisions, and I think that's going to be helpful if we.
Yeah, it's going to be helpful. I agree with Hester, but this is 2019. We're in 2021. She didn't predict the year. It might be helpful, but by the way, I wanted to address this right here. KT won the 1999. Thank you for that super sticker. Let me see what that super sticker is. It is a dude dancing, saying you're amazing. I like the super stickers because here we don't see it. It just says super sticker. But if you look there, it's like, wow.
Yeah, we could have a conversation with these StreamYard guys.
Yeah.
A, make sure that everything's syncing. B, show us our super stickers.
Damn, I know. You got to go offline and see them. So she's talking about one day, someday, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Make decisions that provide more clarity. It's going to be helpful to people all across the spectrum deciding to participate in this space. But that does require us to make some decisions.
Yeah, but I think, though, there's some regulatory piece of this. I think that a lot of institutions, as you call them, enterprise, are really waiting for good custody solutions, good exchanges that they trust, the infrastructure. I think when the
That's what we've been talking about.
It's better, Yeah, some of these issues matter.
Some of these issues
Yeah.
matter. Oh,
Yeah. Look at that
Listen.
hand. Look at that hand gesture. Look at he's like brushing. He's like almost brushing it off. Look at that. Look at his body language. The
It's
body
funny.
language. Holy cow.
It's funny when you're not in the SEC and you're like, this regulation crap. I mean, nobody really gives, we really need to deal with this now. Things have changed, right? So look at him. He's like brushing her off. He's like, the SEC
Oh
is
my
messed
God.
up.
Look at that. Oh,
Now he's part of the SEC. Check this out.
that's unreal.
But I wouldn't put too much focus on the SEC or even the CFTC.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
So
Oh.
here's former CFTC saying don't put any focus on that. And now here's future SEC chairman. Don't put any. Wow. Where does Mickey B. Fresh find this stuff? Man.
Yo,
how
we got to get a
phenomenal.
clip and keep playing that over again.
Custody
We need
and
that.
Solve the infrastructure and
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
say, I think, solve the custody and solve the infrastructure and do
I agree
layer
with all that.
2. Everybody's been talking about lightning networks and things like that. As those things get solved, then there will be more.
Yeah, I mean, I
adoption.
think that's
I really think so.
Yeah, that's a great point
Well.
because I think even what we're hearing is that people who are working on those solutions are hearing lots of interest from established players who are really eager for them to get those solutions going so that they can then participate in the markets.
Yeah.
All right. So since 2019, we have frozen up. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, look at that face. I look really ponderous, but what a great ventriloquist I am. So what's odd about this whole thing is he's worried about custody solutions. Okay, custody solutions, got it. We've always talked about that. He's working about, and when they figure out, the layer 2, the Lightning Network. Okay, I mean that's his concern, but it's very different from the outside looking in.
And so it could be products that like Fidelity is doing in custody or ICE is doing with this backed product, or I'm using local companies.
I think he's missing a major point with all of this, and I agree with him. From one perspective, that the big focus in 2019 had to be technology, because if you don't have the custody, if you don't have the big focus of how do you create a normal environment for digital asset? How do you move digital asset? And his focus with that, I think, with his comments, is really emphasizing financial institutions. And he's looking at it from a perspective, if you want to get mainstream, then Fidelity, BNY, Morgan Stanley, all those guys, if to be players, they have to be comfortable that there's a certain element of audit, that there's a certain element of third-party risk absorption, that in order for them to bring their big clients, their $1 million clients, to start investing on their platform in digital asset, there has to be a security mechanism. And I think from his point, it all superseded regulation, from a government perspective. And if you go back to 2019, we were talking about, yes, you need that, but you're also missing a huge component of it, which is regulatory clarity, which is exactly why Warren Davidson and Derek Soto had been already introducing the Token Taxonomy Act, because they knew exactly what was happening at that point. And so I think that he's both right and wrong. He's definitely missing the point, from some perspective there. Chip is like in super mode, like the Flash.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, Jeff, unfortunately, man.
Yeah, but there he goes. Kick him out of here. So, so it's interesting when you can look at that kind of comment, from 2 years ago, 2019, and now it's going to be interesting to see exactly what his feedback is going to be as he's sitting there, and he's the one that is now going to be orchestrating. So if he's the one that's going to be orchestrating from the SEC perspective, and Hester Pierce is orchestrating from the SEC perspective, now they both have to be on that same page where regulatory clarity is going to be key. And so it's going to be interesting to put all that in. I want to be able to take, Chip, we got to get that video and clip it. Just clip some of those statements that he made, and we're going to put it up in here. It's going to be interesting.
There's one more. It's only a minute clip, but I wanted to see it. I want to play this one too. I think this one's pretty fascinating too. Let me first of all make this big right here. I'm probably gonna go crazy again, but let's do this. It's worth it. So here's the other clip of them too.
Maybe you'd agree with me. Once it's functional, it may or may not be a security. It doesn't mean if it's functional, it is always not a security.
That's where I really think we need to provide guidance, because I think our securities laws are actually quite broad. And so we may need to provide a safe harbor so that people feel comfortable having these networks up and running where the tokens are not securities. And so I sort of have been a little bit more convinced of late that we need to have a safe harbor framework where people will be able to meet certain criteria and therefore know something isn't going to be treated as a security.
Can I ask you about exchanges? I've said publicly, I think that the exchanges are the gateways to get good public policy, particularly around anti-money laundering laws and tax compliance, but also for investor protection. That whether it's the SEC or the agency I was once at, the CFTC, I think if Congress were to get involved, there should be some authority to ensure for.
Anyway, that's it, Jeff. That's the
the Token Taxonomy Act. Why are these guys dancing around this subject? It drives me crazy. They're both making really solid points. He was with the, he worked at the CFTC, and yet, he's still trying to make this introduction and still dancing around the subject of the fact that the Token Taxonomy Act can really make some major changes in the space. And yet, they seem to ignore it. It's amazing. Hey, just a shout out from South Detroit. What's up, Billy Bob? Actually, both Chip and I. Chip actually was in Detroit. I think he left like a year or 2 years before I moved to Detroit, which is interesting. Chip, what year did you leave Detroit?
I left in April of '93,
and I moved there in August of '94.
Isn't that weird? We just miss each other. And then we both lived in New York at one time too, which is another weird thing. Now we both live in Florida. So there you go.
That's very bizarre.
Did you put this one out there from Luis?
No, not yet. Nope, didn't get to it yet. That's
Thank
awesome.
you, Luis. Appreciate that. Or Luis. I don't know how you say that, Luis. Qualis. I don't know. Keep up the great work, guys. Love your channel. Thank you, man. Love you too, Luis. Appreciate that. Let us know if it's Luis or Luis. I don't know. That's how my wife would pronounce it.
Hey, Chip. XRP Panic is going to let you use his Wi-Fi.
It's not the Wi-Fi, it's the browser. And I talked with the developer. I said, you guys need to fix this. And he goes, well, you could use Opera. I'm like, I don't give a shit about using Opera. I said, fix the problem. He goes, yeah, it's clear that it's a browser issue. He goes, you got a really high-powered computer. You got tons of RAM. He goes, you've got crazy upload speed, download speed. You guys think it's that. It's not. It's a browser issue. Doesn't work with Brave. Doesn't work, and here's what happened today. Chrome. Doesn't work with Chrome. So we did a test stream. I did an unlisted test stream. I don't know if you saw it when you were setting up tonight. I did an unlisted test stream where only he could see it. I sent him the link, and he's like, so he says, well, do this, do that. He goes, yeah, you're right. I know I'm right. Fix it. It's like, I go, I know you guys did something with the software because it used to work perfectly. I was clicking. He goes, well, you have a lot of tabs open. I go, dude. When I do OBS, I've got like 30, 40 tabs open for my workday, and I do other tabs. I go, OBS never has any issues with this. It's only your program. So you guys can make all the jokes you want. It's a browser issue, and apparently, I go, look, the easiest way to fix it is to drop your platform. That's probably how we're going to have to fix this problem: is drop your platform because it's weak.
Yeah,
and that's
nothing else is good. But there are some other things out there.
Yeah, so it's like browser-based. So I said I'm super frustrated. He goes, "Oh, I don't blame you, man. I'm with you." I'm like, "No, you're not, dude. You're not fixing it." It's like
ever since they got bought out, then it kind of tanked a little bit.
Yeah,
they're trying to I think they're trying to integrate it with something else, and that integration they're screwing things up. They're changing the coding. They're doing something that's allowing it to bleed memory on the browser.
But Jeff, if you're in your 20s, you're in your late 20s, you're two guys, you founded it, you bootstrapped the whole thing, and you got bought off for like $300 million. I don't know. Are there any problems? I can't really find one. I can't know if there's one. I can't even find a problem. I don't even think there's anything.
They'd be like, I wouldn't be at work. Be like,
yeah, Yeah, I mean, I don't see any problems. I mean, who cares? They're too. I really like their live streams too because they do a really great job. Gage and I don't know
Nice.
the other characters.
Zinfin, let's talk about some XDC. Who cares about StreamYard?
That's right. So Zinfin XDC becomes a leading token on Corda thanks to the DASL crypto bridge, crypto ninjas, and blah blah blah. So is this
What
the news
about
that
it?
I wanted to talk to today?
Zinfin
Adaptable
XDC is on the
technology.
Corda. Yeah, right there, right above the bridge,
Let's see.
or right there.
Yeah,
It's all
announced
built
today-
onto the
it-
Corda. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
announced today Zinfin FinTech and enterprise-ready hybrid blockchain tech. The first company to utilize DSL crypto bridge. Bridge enables Zinfin's XDC to move from the XDC network over to public Corda network to be used as settlement token inside of the Corda ecosystem. That's pretty big news. Pretty psyched about that. I know that you and I both, have that in our portfolio, and I think
Got the
Zinfin's
XDC.
I think Zinfin's a good project, man. I think it's. I don't know if you guys do. I'd like to hear it sound off from you guys there.
Jackie's asking, where in the world can you buy it? Well, you can buy it off an exchange that's based out of Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Correct. But anyway, I heard XDC is coming to a couple more
BitTrue.
platforms.
no, it's on BitTrue right now.
It's on BitTrue, yeah, but there's a couple other ones. The best way to find where to buy a particular asset is to go to. I'm probably going to freeze up. Yep. Man,
Google.
I really just annoying. No, it's even better than that. You got to just go to let's see here. I don't know, Jeff. I'm really getting really disturbed with this whole thing freezing up where it never did before. He's like, what do you have
Channing
anything else on?
Smithson. Hi guys. Pack Masternode is looking more affordable today. A
It
lot
sure
more
is.
affordable.
It sure is after some people ended up getting in at a higher price. But anyway, so right up here, if you go here and you want to see what Pack is, he's coming to. Oh, I'm sorry, got me off. Thanks, Chan. You got me off there. So you got
The
XDC.
XDC.
So
Get your
any one of these,
XDC.
Coin Market Cap. I happen to prefer CoinGecko a little bit better. And if you come in here, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of stuff. You can read all the white papers, but all the stuff's there. You can go to Zinfin Direct, and then it's a little bit different here than it is on the. Where are the exchanges, Jeff?
On BitTrue, you can stake the XDC. It's over there somewhere.
Oh, here it's right here.
But,
these
but it's on BitTrue. BitTrue is, I think, you can get on BitTrue anywhere in the U.S., right? Or are they still excluded in New York? Well, New York, the communist states of New York and New Jersey, you might be a little bit
Liquid
limited
as well.
So
Liquid, Bitfinex,
there you go.
BitTrue. So on BitTrue, you got a XDC, USDT. Most of them are USDT pairs, but you can do either
Oh, look
regular
at that,
USD
dude.
or UST.
is that live? 4 cents?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. It's
I need
almost
to
4
do some.
cents,
I need to arbitrage a little from the Bitfinex to the BitTrue.
right? Do a little arbitrage action there. Good luck on that. See how that works out. But yeah, BitTrue is 4 cents. So it's 4 cents, but some people got in.
North Carolina can't use BitTrue. I didn't
doesn't make
realize
sense.
that.
What about
Didn't know
Bitfinex
that.
or Liquid? The one I don't like, they always put
Interesting.
eToro and crypto.com, but you can't always buy them there. So it's just like a sponsored
Oh, that's
spot
just
there.
an ad. That's why it's in yellow.
Yeah. But let's take a look at while we're here, let's take a look at Pack. Because Pack you can buy over on BitTrue as well.
Oh, you can now. That went live.
Yeah. Pack dropped a little bit in price, but you can run a master node. You need 500,000 Pack to be able to run a master node. And Channing, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if James Rule's in here or David, but you can get, I think it's about 107,000 per year that you for keeping the network stabilized. And what we read the other night that they were doing a partnership with Gala to sort of like really decentralize both networks. But you saw it took a little dip and then kind of came back up here. But it was around 0.01. But you think about that, 0.01. You can do the math on what you need to run a node, a master node right now. So you can
How
buy.
much is it?
Well, right now it's going to be roughly 0.1013. So what is that going to be? You multiply that by. You need 500,000 of that. So 500,000 divided by that, and there's your number. And you can run a master node. I don't know, Jeff. I'm not good at math. It's not my forte.
$5,000.
$5,000, yeah, roughly about $5,000. There you go. So about $5,000, you can get into run your own master node that will mine. It's not really mining; it was the wrong word, but you'll be able to accumulate around 107,000. Yes, they should.
Leave New York
immediately, if not sooner. Not financial advice; it's moving advice.
just check your politics at the door when you come to Florida.
That's right. Leave those at the door. Things are working really well down here. Everyone's enjoying
In
themselves.
the free state of Florida.
That's right. We're enjoying ourselves. Everyone's having a good time here. It's all good. So I wanted to see this, and I wanted to put this up there because I find that there's there's an NFL player, Taylor Rapp. He's launching an NFT to fight anti-Asian hate. This has been a big problem as of late. It's really disturbing, some of the videos that I've seen. I don't understand what the heck is behind it, but he says he hopes the NFL will see this and the important message behind it. That's why I'm doing it. And so he's with the Los Angeles Rams, latest pro athlete. Now, there's a lot of pro athletes getting into this whole thing. I just saw a fighter who sold an NFT who made more than his last prize fight. So he's a free safety entering his third season in the NFL, completely lacks the star power like a Rob Gronkowski or a Patrick Mahomes. Marquee players who basically leverage their brands to multi-million-dollar NFT sales. But as the backfield starter, he said he's been hustling on his co-creators for 3 weeks in their slapdash NFTs, told CoinDesk, hopes to make up the difference by focusing his sale on an anti-racist cause. He's the only Chinese American active in the NFL at the time when hate crimes against Asians are surging. So
come on. Seriously, can you shut that off? That's just ridiculous.
Well, I'm just saying, Jeff, it's I don't know if they're surging, but I do. There seems to have been somewhat. But anyway, they're turning it into a social. You're going to see all kinds of NFTs and all kinds of different.
They're turning into their social justice warriors of the NFTs. Can't it just be? Just let people be. And oh man, like this. This is what I'm talking about. Like Seth, he said it wasn't that long ago. I was watching vids on YouTube of Venezuelan soldiers in the jungles running Bitcoin mines. With China's Bitcoin mining dominance, Iran adopting Bitcoin. Where's this all leading to?
You know where it's leading to. I think you already have a good thing. I just want to cover this quick story here. Coinbase hires former SEC director Brett Redfern as capital markets lead. Isn't it funny how all these SEC people are finding their ways into crypto, which they were totally against? Remember that, Jeff? Do you remember that? So he was an SEC director over there, and it's funny how they're taking their lead. They're moving their stuff into there, and wow, holy cow, Jeff, take a look at that. Whoa, hang on, it's MMK 85. Thank you, man. Whoa,
support. Appreciate that.
That is phenomenal. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. We appreciate all you do. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Wow, that's awesome, MMK.
Appreciate 85. You guys. Appreciate that a lot.
Say that 3 times fast. MMK 85. Can you say that?
MK 85.
You didn't even say it right once, Jeff. It was really
MMK 85.
MMK 85. You have a little, even have a little swag with that. MMK
85.
85. Wow, man, that's remarkable. Thank you so much, man. That is wow. What a great way to end the night. Support. Yeah, we do appreciate that. And again, what we always say is the reason we do this is Ben. You guys are fantastic. We had a great time at the meetup. We're going to do another meetup. The reason we like doing it is, man, you guys are just some of the smartest people. We were in one of the meetups, and there was Matt Hamilton, and I was listening. And sometimes I'll go in a clubhouse to listen, and people make me a speaker. I'm like, man, I don't want to speak. Jeff and I speak all the time. Sometimes I just want to listen. But Jeff, all these SEC people, now you got Clayton going to First River or whatever, right? They doubled down on Bitcoin
all going
and
to
Ethereum.
The crypto.
Now you got another SEC. Now they're hiring people, they're lobbyists. I mean, come on, man. Come on. There's something going on, Jeff. This cannot be right.
Dude, it's something is definitely heating up. I mean, it's getting quicker and it's amazing. It's they're getting ready to double down on this. All over the world. It's all over the world. So I think the writing's on the wall. It's in the Bitcoin because that's where the big players go. All the action is going to be in the crypto space. And I think from talking to John Deaton, it's the community is rising up to let, finally, man, this is like, regardless of the outcome right now, what I get so excited about? The power is in the hands of the people. The people have forgotten way too long that the governments are there at the will and the behest of the people. Especially in the U.S., we elect them there to represent us, and then they appoint people that should fall in line with what we elected them to do. And man, I'll tell you what, this is it's all good news, man. It's great. 10,750 people strong supporting him.
Right on. So I wanted you to check this one out right here. So this is a story that our pal Sam, Green Eggs and Ham, Sam I Am, he said, this is the story about a very surprised JP Morgan calculates the damage from the, what was the archipelago, the whole fallout from that, the $25 billion. He says this time, this could be the contagion that spreads to take down the global financial system. Only this time, they're out of bullets and crypto has arrived. That I like a lot, man. I thought that was very well played. Well played, Sam.
Interesting.
This time they are out of bullets. Yeah, this time they are out of bullets. But
yeah, man. So we teased a little bit about the merch store. Hopefully, we'll have that merch store up. After Easter. That's Sunday, right? Easter's Sunday, so maybe Sunday. Easter.
One day on Sunday.
So sometime, we'll get that up. We got some other things planned. We are going to respond. A lot of people have been talking about, how can we get more education? How can there be like tutorials and things like that? Just based on how the meetup went, which was phenomenal. We will start working on some things like that as well that can use the platform that we're using for the meetups. And so I think that's going to be exciting. So we're working on all those things. Takes a little bit of time to roll things out, but this is awesome. We have such a great group of people here tuning in, every evening, because we stream Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And one way that you guys can definitely support the channel as well is if you're brand new here and you've never been on the chain, make sure you hit the subscribe button, subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, hit that bell notifier because that does alert you to when we post a live video, but somehow it calculates into the algorithm, and hit that thumbs up as well. So Chip keeps getting bounced in and out, but you guys are awesome. Looking forward to seeing you guys all back on tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, we'll check you guys out on the next one. We're out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.